Hello, lovely people. So we are back with a color analysis video. And if you don't know what color analysis is, A, it's a deep dive. Get ready to not waste, but spend years of your life on this. And B, everybody has natural coloring and different colors that look good on them. And there is a 12 or 16 season system, depending on which one you like, that everybody falls into a season, and those are your colors. And if you watched my Vlogtober back in October, I went on this big, long speech about how I was a soft summer and I looked good in the muted colors and all of this stuff. And I was virtually typed by someone. And ever since then, it just didn't feel right. I looked at myself in pictures and I thought, I just look tired. I look washed out. Really? And I know I have the really pale skin. So then I thought, well, if I'm not this kind of a summer, maybe I'm a this kind of summer. And then tried that and it didn't work. And then I went back and forth with the winter because a lot of you, rightly so, were like, oh, you're a winter. You can take a lot of contrast. You weren't wrong. So I finally got to a point where I was like, I'm done with this. I'm going to drape myself. So I took one afternoon and I put my phone up in natural lighting and I just started draping. Turns out I'm not a summer. I'm not a winter. I'm not a cool season. I am a bright spring. And it has taken me 36 years to figure this out. But I just always was told I was a summer. I was always told I was cool toned, but neither the summer nor the winter was working. And I'm going to show you some photos to show you what I'm talking about. But maybe the other hint was I was buying makeup going, well, I'm a cool tone girl, but really the warm foundations blend better. Or I'm a cool tone girl, but I really like the warmer lipsticks on me. Maybe that should have been a hint. Never once occurred to me that I was warm toned. Actually, we're going to get in the nitty gritty. Bright springs are neutral, leaning warm, which would explain a lot. Yeah, I'm not a summer or a winter. So let me show you some pictures. So you know kind of what I'm talking about. So summers are supposed to be very cool and muted. They're very, very cool. And soft summers kind of sit between autumn and summer. So they're very neutral. So here is a picture of me, a couple pictures of me dressed in my summer colors. And and this is in natural lighting. I just look meh, fine. Then we went to the winter season because contrast. A lot of you very speedily were like, oh, you're like Snow White. But I was in the winter, and this is way too harsh. I look older. I just look you just see the lipstick and the hair and the this and the that. So neither one of them was working. So when I finally started draping myself, it just was like, maybe I'm a warm season. So then I was like, well, maybe I'm an autumn. That's like not good either. Here's me in an autumn neutral muted situation, not good. But what really put me onto it was Michelle Dockery, who is Lady Mary on Downton Abbey. Very similar to myself, extremely pale, dark hair. You would automatically think she was a winter. She's a bright spring. And I thought, maybe that's it. Maybe that's what I'm missing. And so I have started dressing as a bright spring and wearing my bright spring makeup. Life-changing. Totally life-changing. I'm in this right now. I do have a ring light or a light up, but I'm going to show you a couple things in natural lights. Very, very important. Natural light if you want to drape yourself in my bright spring colors. And my eyes just pop, like my eyes take on whatever I'm wearing. In blue, they just bing, and that's where I really saw it. And when you're draping, if you want to do this to yourself, you need to look at it as a whole. I think a lot of the darker winter colors would make my skin look nice, but there was a separation or I would lose like jawline definition. My skin looked good, but my eyes just kind of went. It's got to be a picture as a whole. And the other thing that really changed the game for me, if you're trying to do this, is where does your eye go first? If you take the photo of yourself, does your eye travel up? Or does your eye travel down? Do you see color face or face color? And you want to see you first. That's what people say when they say, oh, I want to see you, not the color. Does your eye travel up or does your eye travel down? And that made a huge difference for me as well. So after all of that nonsense in Vlogtober, I'm a bright spring. And like, it's kind of been liberating to start wearing my brights because I think I've been scared of brights. But it makes my skin glow, it makes my eyes pop. And yeah, I'm very slowly, because we have to be economically sound about this, but very slowly overhauling my wardrobe, my makeup. Because I even remember in a couple of videos, I think it was one I did 2 years ago that was showing you favorite products. I was literally, unbeknownst to myself, dressed like a bright spring with the coral lip, the dark hair, the ivory sweater, not white, ivory. And I remember going back and looking at the video going, oh, I looked really good. Yeah, so for me, it's the corals. This is one I mentioned in that video. This is Lancome Call Me Sienna number 120. Ideal for bright springs. My new Holy Grail bright spring lipstick is a Sephora one. They're the Sheer Shine. It's number 13. It's kind of this watermelony strawberry pink. Because I think I was just scared to wear the brights and the warms, but actually it makes me glow. And if you find your season, you're going to glow. And it's going to be like, oh, I'm telling you, because I would look at myself in photos and go, maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe, like, I don't know. This is my natural hair color. I have not dyed it in over a year. And yeah, it's just, it made sense. And once you find your colors, it's going to make sense. So what I actually want to do, I'm going to do a separate video that I'm going to give you some leotard and dancewear options for every color season. So if you're like, oh, I know I'm this, I'll give you those options. And if you guys are struggling on finding your season, also go watch videos by 𝐿𝐸 Royden. She has really good, like, let's break down what's happening, and this, order your value of, like, are you warm, bright, or cool, So she's got some really good color specifics. She has trained for this. For me, it's just been immersing myself in it and draping myself until I finally got it. But I encourage you to look at her. But in an upcoming video, I will be showing you like 3 or 4 leotards for each color season if you guys want to start dressing like that in class too. So this is not a long video. This is short, but finally figured out the color season. I also finally figured out my 𝐂𝐵 body type. Turns out I was right the first time. I'm a theatrical romantic. Really. So we were close on the 𝐷𝐸𝐴𝐻, but theatrical romantic is correct. So I'll deep dive on that too. But yeah, if you're, I encourage you guys to really look at yourself, drape yourself in natural light with no makeup, and just, trust your instincts. If somebody's told you you're a something and it's not sitting and you don't like yourself in it and it doesn't make you pop, you're probably not that season. So this kind of goes back to what I've always talked about with health too. You know your body better than anyone else. You know your aesthetic better than anyone else. And if you're looking at yourself and you're like, meh, try again. Drape. Find what makes you happy. So yeah, stay tuned for that upcoming video. Thank you guys for your lovely comments on the last video where I talked about, Marie and I talked about how Cam and Friends is changing a bit. These kinds of videos, the lifestyle stuff, is something I would like to start trying more of. Just kind of the lifestyle, the beauty, the aesthetic. I've really gotten into it lately. I'm starting to get into fragrances, like all of that kind of stuff. It's kind of a new passion for me. So there'll probably be a lot more of that on here as well. But the on-demand Cam and Friends membership is sticking around, and we have over 200 classes on there. So if you want, years worth of ballet classes, go check out the Cam and Friends membership. But anyway, love you guys so very much, and I'll see you next time.